she's so fly. You can't deny. Every test is a testimony. Come along, you will see it. This is my time, time to live up. Shake it up, ain't nothing gon' stop me. Ain't nothing gon' stop me. Ain't nothing.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. Today I am going to talk about the music business, the music industry, what I've learned, what I have kept with me until today, and obviously I want to share with you guys and new artists and any artists that know, don't know, knowledge is power. So I want to give you those points. So today I'm going to talk about managers, touring, contracts, publishing, booking agents, signing your own checks, and anything else that I do remember. I will definitely put that in there. Just quick summaries, nothing too crazy. So just let me say, as an artist, before I even learned about the music industry, shout out to Kim K, my music teacher, way back then. She forced me to get into it, and I think that's much better. Me personally, if you're going to go into a field, I think you should study it, and that's whether it's sports or being a doctor, a nurse, whatever. I think you need to have knowledge on what you're stepping into so you can save those points. Today, just even before that, as a little girl, until now, you see artists, you see the big cars, you see the money, you see the big houses, the jewelry, the flashy stuff, but you don't know the behind the scenes. And when celebrities tell you that the industry is cutthroat, please believe the industry is cutthroat. Whether you're in the industry or not in the industry yet, just you know. After learning about it, you're just like, wow, do I even really want to get into it? So today I'm going to talk about managers starting off. Their cut is 10 to 15, 10 to 20%, depending on the experience that they have. That's their cut of obviously managing you. Can't even talk. Managing you. Being your manager. So basically, their role is that when you do get a contract, their role is to basically put you forward. They're meant to be your biggest cheerleader. And obviously, that's another thing. When you do have a manager, you want to have that relationship where it's just not, obviously it's about money, but obviously that bond, they need to be like your strongest cheerleaders. They're the ones that are going to make people believe that you can bring your talent to the table, that you are worthy of being on that stage. So that is their job. So obviously, when you have that contract, their duties of what they're going to do, and you have your duties of what you're going to do and fulfill that contract. And if that contract is broken, then obviously you know the consequences, all that good jazz that's meant to be in there. Having a manager, you want to have someone that supports you in everything that you do. Whether you can hit a note, can't hit a note, but they know that deep down inside that you can bring it to the table, then any artist that is out or that is up and coming, that you know that you got it in the bag. So that's just one thing to point out. Always have a good manager and have a good relationship. And if you feel like it's not going sour or it's not meshing, just, make sure you let them know what's up. And don't ever let it get too far that you feel like they're not doing their job or you're not doing your job and vice versa. Cool. Got that done. Check. Next thing is contracts. Big thing in contracts. 9 times out of 10, when artists get a contract, they never read the contract. They sign it down the line, and then obviously, when it comes to getting their money, as we see in so many documentaries, so many stories of artists, they get ripped off. Not knowing, when you first sign a contract, obviously there's guidelines. There's so much wording that you're not going to sit there and it's like maybe 30-40 pages of what they're going to provide and what you're going to provide. But you have to make sure you go through the contract. Even if I get a contract myself, actually I had an opportunity where, if you know Boohoo, I sent one of my tracks to Boohoo and they sent me a contract. And obviously I had knowledge on it, and they were basically saying that I would have no rights to my music, that they would rearrange it. So I said, no thank you. I'm not going to take my song and just flip it like that. Are you crazy? But yeah, once you have a contract, you make sure you read it and make sure you analyze it, make sure you go through it, because obviously as a new artist they give you an advancement depending on how much the advancement is. Say for example 50,000. That's for like recording your songs, that's for putting you out there, that's for your outfits, that's for paying the producer, that's for paying the hairstylist, whatever. The 50,000 is an advancement for you to make them money. So whenever you perform, whenever you go on stage, you're not really getting that money back. That money is going to them. So say for example, if your manager gets the money, whatever fee that they have or whatever they fee you charge or whatever, and the celebrities that are flashing their money, that's part of the advancement deal. That's really going back to the record deal. So 9 times out of 10, you don't really make money, real cash like that, until like after maybe your second or your third album, depending if the contract, if the it's like 3 to 5 album cycle, if depending on if the label wants to move on with you and have another album deal with you. So that all depends. So make sure you read your contracts and go through that. It's really cutthroat. Also, even if you have contracts with going on tour, or if you have a show with a promotion deal, like promoters deal with club promoters, that's another thing. Read the contracts and make sure you get that all situated. Always read and always you sign the contract. Nobody else. Don't let your assistant, don't let your manager, don't let your mama, your grandmother sign the contracts, because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. It's always good to proofread everything, especially if it's about money. Definitely proofread, because you don't want to go down the line. For example, you have artists talk about they just signed a contract, and then when they're asking for their money, they didn't know where the money was. So that was kind of off. Next one I'm going to talk about is touring. Touring is another one. Like I was saying before, touring is where and performing is where you really get your money. Now that the music industry is not really the same how it was back in the day, selling CDs and MP3s and, just performing like on TV shows or whatever, it was not really kind of doing it for them. Record sales, shall I say. But now obviously touring is where the money is at. That's where it is. Obviously with the album sales, it's still kind of there depending, but it's kind of like obviously with technology and internet, things evolve. So it's just not really where it's meant to be. So touring is where it's at. That's where you make your money. Even having merchandising deals is a good one, where you tour and also you can have your merchandising. You sell your hats and all that good stuff on the side. That's part of going back to the label. But obviously, if you're in the second or third album and you progress, that's money coming back to you also. So that's a good one with touring. Also you have a manager and a touring manager. Manager handles all the good stuff. Make sure that you come on time. Your touring manager is the one that is making sure the lights are working, make sure the instruments are working, make sure that the seats are available, sold out tickets, whatever. The touring manager handles all that good jazz. So just to tell about the two, the manager and the touring manager. Manager goes wherever you go. Touring manager only comes when they need to come. Also, a good tour, the planning time takes, ticket sales mostly come out like 6 months prior to the show. Touring, planning for a whole tour, that could take up to a year. So just imagine, to make an album could take up to a year. Planning the tour takes up to only a good year. Selling tickets, 6 months prior, they sell the tickets and all that good stuff. Just to get the numbers situated and everything going. That's just a lot in itself. You know what I'm saying? That's just a lot in itself. It's just like, whew. But touring is where you get your money. Also, another thing where you get your money is ghostwriting. Being a ghostwriter, even though performing on stage, you get that, you do make money, but behind the scenes, ghostwriting, look, the Neos or the Eric Bellingers or the Kirk Franklins or the Mary Marys or the Warren Campbells, all those artists ghostwrite. So that is where the money. Writing your own songs is where the money is at. Even though it may not be in the beginning, you may not, depending on your connections or whatever it is, you may not make money now, but later on, down the line, once you get your foot through the door, ghostwriting is where it's at. That's where the money is. Also, another thing, publishing. So now how publishing works is getting your song onto TV, games, movies, once your song, even if it's 30 seconds, you can make a lot of money. Publishing and songwriting are the two best things. That's why you see on the TV shows, some artists have their songs played, even if it's like 10, 30 seconds. It's really, really good. That's another like a good thing for your music to be played, and obviously getting your exposure and getting your name out there, which is really good. So yeah, if you ever get the opportunity to have a publishing deal, read the contract, read about it, and that's really, really good. Never have anyone sign your checks. Always sign your own checks. Watch out for your money. Always even have like, find out when if you get like an itinerary of what you're planning, what's going on. Obviously, the record deal will ask for that, but ask for a copy for yourself so you know what's going on. Ask for like the accountant, like where your money is going, because you're gonna be so busy you will not know where your money is going. And obviously, the accountant move a little funny. You heard what happened to Rihanna, and Madonna don't play that. Madonna got two accountants, no, actually three. One, and then for the second to check on the first one, and then the third one to check on the second and the first one. So yeah, so that is definitely a big one. You always want to check for your money, where it's going. Obviously, because you're paying the producer, you're paying the team that is obviously helping you, and obviously the money's going back to the record label. So obviously you just need to check out for your money. The same way when you first started out, when you at work, like when you're at work and you get that check and you look at that pay slip and you're like, no ma'am, I'm missing 3 hours, I'm missing 4 hours, I'm missing 30 minutes. It's the same way you need to be when you are in the industry. You need to check for your money, check where it's going. You don't want to end up being bankrupt. It's just not a really pretty thing. I don't want to end up bankrupt, so I'm just using the knowledge that I have and make sure I apply to it. Yeah, so definitely check out for that. Keep an eye on that. Another thing I definitely do want to talk about is licenses. When you have your songs played in stores, when you have it played in the club, the DJs need a license to play your music. If they don't, they will get a fine. Shopping malls, you even see, I think it's PPL, I can't remember, PPL, in the shopping centers. They need to have that little thing to show, to prove that they can play your music. If they don't, what happens? They get a fine. So they definitely need a license to publish your music, have your music out there. That's the one big thing. Also, signing up to, oh my god, I remember all this stuff now. I believe it's ASCAP, and another company for songwriters. Another thing for songwriters, ASCAP, and I can't remember what the other one is called, but I remember. Yeah, that's another thing. Royalties. Ooh, royalties. Royalties. When you write your own music, you get royalties, honey. Okay, royalties. It don't matter whether it's played on the radio, in the movies. If you've written that song, the artist has paid to have that song, you are going to get royalties when it's played on radios, movies, wherever, around the stores, wherever in the world. Eventually, that gets accumulated, and that is your royalties. So that's another thing. Be a ghostwriter as well as an artist. That's where the money's at, and publishing too. Another thing I would talk about is a booking agent. A booking agent, I believe they take 5 to 10% is their cut. And obviously, it's kind of obvious what a booking agency does. They book you. They book you for shows. They book you for promotion, whatever it is. They are responsible of booking you, and also they are responsible when you're going on tour, which countries to go to, what states to go to, what venues to book you in, the availability, making sure that it aligns with where you need to go. So if you gotta be in Africa on Thursday, they gotta make sure enough time that you are going to be in London for Tuesday. So that's definitely what they need to do as well. That's why it takes so long to have a tour, because all of that and making sure they get their cut as well. So if they book you and you are there and you fulfill your promises, then everybody gets paid, everybody's happy. As long as you love what you do, then it's all good love. So I know it's kind of a little all over the place, but I hope this knowledge helps you as long as it helps me as well. Like it's helped me from what I know. So whenever I look at a contract or somebody's trying to tell me I'm a manager and this and this and this, I'm like, what do you do? What can you do for me? You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, also a good book where I learned this knowledge, all this good knowledge, also obviously from going to school. Another good book to get is All About the Music Business by Donald Passman. I believe it's the first one, the first volume. But that one is a good book. It goes into details about almost everything. So what I just basically kind of spoke about, he goes into depth and into full detail. So it's really cutthroat, but it's really good, and it's really going to help you and I in the long run. Also, definitely go to school for it. Take some courses about the music business, even like management, event management. So how to run events, of how to get that going, how to sell your event, how to promote your event, what kind of demographic you want to do for the event. It's just all about these key steps to knowing what you're getting yourself into, and it just helps you in the long run. So I hope I was able to give you some good knowledge, and I hope you enjoyed it. Guys, so please like, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, and please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys soon. Love.